What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is I, DaggerBoobs. Hi, welcome to our second devlog where we're making our first game. If you haven't seen my last video, I'm making a horror game based off of my real life job at a cement plant. We covered our first 30 days in the last video, and it's been 30 days since, so we're going to be covering the next 30 days of our progress, equaling an amount of 60 days. So let's jump right into this. And make sure you check out that first video so you can get caught up on what's happened. I forgot to mention you can wishlist my game on Steam. Link is down in the description. Make sure you go wishlist the game. It'll be like $5, maybe $3 on release, $2 on release, I don't know. But it'll be cheap, so show your support. And even if you don't plan on buying the game, yo, wishlist it for the Steam algorithm. Wink. So now I'll take you through the next 30 days, starting with the goals that I had mentioned at the end of the last video, and that was creating interactable objects, so like doors to open, and then when you look at the door, to have a glow on the door so that the players know what you can and cannot interact with. And I had the hardest time figuring this out. First, I had to set up my key bindings, E for interact, which was easy, but then came all the problems. The first problem was that Unreal Engine 5 didn't have a C++ class for an interactable interface. Only Blueprint had it, as I read. So thanks to AI, I was taught how to make it manually. I just had to create a header file in VSCode, which was weird to me because you always needed a header file and a .cpp file. But in this case, I didn't need a CPP file. I just needed a header file, and I just had to edit that file to have the code for what it would be like in Blueprint, but in code for I don't really understand it. Thanks to AI for teaching me, bro. I don't know. So I created that and I linked it to my door and horror character classes. Now I needed a way to let the door know that I'm looking at it and to make the door move. So I had to set up a ray trace in my horror character class and make a system where it checks my character's focus in order for the ray trace to cast its line, if I'm understanding that correctly. I didn't have much trouble with that part either. What made me want to murder someone's grandma was to get the damn door to move without creating an animation for it to move. So in short, I made a class for the door, coded it, and now I had a door that would snap open or closed when I press E on my keyboard. But I wanted it to be more realistic. So after coding the door, it would snap open, then close like an inch. Then I tweaked the code and it would open backwards and close an inch. I tweaked the code some more and it would open an inch and snap closed. Nothing I was doing was working at all. I kept having to correct the AI on how to do it because it didn't know how to do it. And so I'm trying to tell it like, yo, this is how you do it. It's like this, not like this, but like this. This whole process took me a week to figure out. And that meant being a week away from Blender, and being a week away from Blender as a beginner felt detrimental. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I was tweaking on the door, bro. That door had me tweaking. A week away from Blender felt like hell. So I pulled out the big guns. No, not those guns. I heard about this AI called DeepSeek where you can search the web as deeply as when you're giving back shots and you lift your leg up to give your pee-pee an extra couple inches. Bro, who wrote this shit? Anyways, Perplexity AI has this DeepSeek AI model. So I pasted in my code and deep searched it. And the problem was that I was using relative rotation instead of world rotation. World rotation is the game space rotation. Relative rotation would only work if my door's default rotation was XYZ 000. But it wasn't. It was XY0, but Z was -90. So we needed to use world rotation in our code instead of relative. I learned something that day. The importance of breastfeeding your children and no longer neglecting them for game development. So now the door was done, and it was time to repeat the process for the lockers, our mini fridge, and our toolbox. Now I needed the doors to glow when I look at them. I don't remember if the coding part for this was hard, but what was hard was creating an outline material for our post-process volume. And this is why it took like a whole week for this whole door process to be finished, was because I could not find a tutorial on how to make an outline material. I searched YouTube, okay, and I couldn't find anything. I asked AI, and AI was way off, like way off, giving me completely wrong information. And I only know that AI was way off because I finally found a hidden gem on YouTube by this guy named Rogue Entity. Shout out to him. And his YouTube video saved my life. It saved me from going insane, bro. AI had maybe 2 steps. The rest was bogus. So thank you, Rogue Entity, for saving my sanity. If I could, I would make out with you like this. After all that coding, it was time to get back into Blender because I have nothing else I can code. In the last video I said I also had a goal of creating a monster for the game, but I've fallen in love with game design so much. So for the rest of the time, I focused on creating the second part of the map. I relearned Blender and was non-stop modeling things. I modeled so many different things and I got so much better at modeling too. My best work so far is 1, this bag house. My first time creating more detail on an object. And then my best is this conveyor belt. Look at this thing. It got bolts, a belt, guards, and even the rolls to move the belt. I feel like I do really good on this one and I'm really proud of myself for that. Anyways, I hopped on Twitch to stream and TikTok to stream. Make sure y'all go check out my Twitch and TikTok. In the first stream, I created a nighttime atmosphere. In the first stream, I created a nighttime atmosphere with clouds and fog and moonlight that you can't see because my map's too small. In the stream, I also showed the modeling process too in Blender.
Oh shit. It'll be alright. Improvision. There we go.
For the second stream, I finally added our models from Blender into the game. We textured them on stream together too. And then I started to play around with the landscape tool and I made a big map and started making mountains. And now I could see the moonlight finally. But the moonlight was so damn bright. I continued editing well, I really can't talk today. I continued adding all my models to the game. I can't read. I'm an out reader. I continued adding all my models to the game. The station for the train, bars, the conveyor belts. I also made textureless background structures for the background of the plant to kind of fill in the dead spaces of the map and make it look more, you know, pizzazz. I added the towers at my job with the kiln attached to it and some other random stuff, and it looks a lot better. The mountains and hills were definitely a game changer for sure. Off stream, I made the ER room, an electrical room that will have control of all the lights, you know, in case the monster feels like shutting off the lights to your office. I wanted to create creepy lights, so I got back into coding and created blinking lights. Then I realized I wanted flickering lights, not blinking lights. Stupid AI for taking my words for their true meaning. So I coded flickering lights and put them in the barn's tunnel. And while I was walking around in my game inside the tunnel, checking out the lights, I turned around and I swear, I saw something red far away for like a split second and I got so scared. And so for the rest of me creating the game that night, I just felt like unsettled, like, what if a monster's in my game and I have no clue and it's just watching me, waiting? Like my game's haunted and I'm creating the perfect home for the demons that haunt my game. And the last thing I did was sign up to be a Steam partner. That means that, yeah, you can wishlist my game on Steam now. The link to that will be in the description, and I think that about sums it up. Now, my biggest goal for the next 30 days is to create a monster and reteach myself animation. I used to animate in Cinema 4D. I used to make Minecraft animations and I was pretty good at it. The only thing I didn't know how to do was rig characters. I was animating already rigged characters. So I need to learn the whole rigging process, so that'll be hopefully fun. But as far as the animation, I already have a deep understanding of keyframes and waves and all that stuff like that, smoothing it out and whatnot, and how tedious it is, I already know, because I've done it for a couple years before. So I feel like I got a head start there, so that's good. I also feel like I got a lot more done than last time in the last 30 days. I locked the fuck in. We are 60 days in and I'm very proud of myself, and I hope you guys are proud of me too. So I will see y'all in 30 days, unless my game actually is haunted and I end up getting eaten by the demons haunting my game.